Despite it's been years since the country officially embraced federalism as the form of governance, the mentality and approaches of the centre has failed to move beyond the traditional centralized power structure. This has led to the continued dismay on the part of the provincial and local governments, affecting development works at the local levels. Good morning, I'm Amit Bakarel, and let's begin with the top stories this hour. The number of youths vying for jobs in South Korea increases by the year, attributed to lack of proper employment opportunities back home. Central government continues having sway on even small-scale development projects at local and provincial levels. Centralized outlook still prevails at the cost of norms of federalism. Hundreds of thousands hit the streets in Hong Kong against the newly introduced extradition bill. Critics fear the law would let China target political opponents in the territory. And Portugal clinches the title of UEFA Nations League, get better up the Netherlands 1-0 in the final. The government is preparing to send as many as 10,000 youths to South Korea this year for employment who just participated in the 10th session of the Korean language test conducted under the employment permit system. More than 92,000 job aspirants from the age of 19 to 39 have participated in the examination. The growing number of youths vying for abroad employment actually depicts the bleaker prospect of employment opportunities back home by the day. The government has already made it mandatory to appear for the language test so as to receive work permit in South Korea. More than 92,000 youths, including 15,000 women, participated in the test conducted in 32 different centers in Kathmandu, Lalitpur and Pokhara. However, the reason behind such a large number of aspirants paying up to 50,000 rupees for the procedure without even being sure of being selected needs serious consideration. The South Korean government has ensured minimum salary of 170,000 rupees to Nepalese workers per month for the time being. So far, 60,000 young and energetic citizens have already reached South Korea by clearing the language test. More than 7,000 job aspirants leaving this time are to be employed in productive sectors and 3,000 in the agricultural sector alone. The irony is that Nepal itself is an agricultural country and the major part of the country's economy is based on productivity. There is already a dearth of skilled and energetic manpower in the country to help boost the national economy. Although some advantage bestowed by remittance, experts are of the view that the growing number of youths consistently being attracted to abroad employment would not augur well for the country's benefit. The trend is also contrary to the government's pledge to economic prosperity, as it has largely failed to introduce any effective programs of employment to retain the huge number of youths back home by ensuring the benefits and facilities as per the skills and capacities. The government's centralized outlook in terms of both policies and programs and annual budget has remained intact despite the country has officially entered into federalism. The federal government has continued to exhibit high-handedness even when it comes to small-scale development projects that are supposed to be handled by provincial and local authorities as per the Constitution. In spite of the federal setup, the central has remained active in the operation of various programs at the local levels, including community schools, local roads, health facilities, and irrigation, among others. Although the Constitution has provision that all such programs should be run by the provincial and local governments on their own, using the locally available resources, the federal government has continued to keep such schemes under its own jurisdiction. This has given leeway to the provincial and local governments to doubt the intention of the central government itself. Welcome back after the break. As per us recently unveiled statistics, as many as 100 people have been losing their lives owing to air pollution on a daily basis. The number stands at around staggering 37,000 every year. The concern over the growing air pollution has turned further serious after a recent study revealed the contamination of harmful metallic substances in the capital's atmosphere. Although already applied to the public, there would, however, be an alternative when it comes to avoiding contaminated water for consumption. But one could not even imagine what would be the scenario like if the air for breathing itself turns harmful even to inhale. A study conducted by the National Academy of Science and Technology unveiled that the air hovering above Kathmandu contains significant quantities of metallic substances like lead, copper, and zinc, among others. This means that the dusty air the Kathmandu residents have been bearing exceeds harmful metallic substances compared to soil particles. The harmful substances are not only detrimental to eyes and external organs, but the internal and sensitive organs like inner throat and lungs, which would eventually lead the particles into the human bloodstream. Despite the alarming levels of air pollution, the government and the concerned authorities have remained indifferent and sluggish in finding an effective and long-term solution to the problem that has been directly affecting the public's health. In our Public Voice segment, we asked the locals of Surkhet how satisfied are they on the activities of the local levels in the past 2 years. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
बाटो घाटोका सुविधाहरुदेखि लिएर पानीका खाने पानीहरु ती कुराहरुमा पनि त्यति ध्यान नपुग्या जस्तो कता कता आफैमा बाणफाड आफैमा चाहिने उनीहरु नै आफै राजनीतिक पार्टीहरुको अथवा स्थानीय निकायका व्यक्तिहरु पनि आफूमा नै त्यो भाग बाँडाइमा नै व्यस्त भएको जस्तो मैले आफ्नो बुझाइ लाग्छ।
आफ्नो मनमर्जीले हैन आफ्नो सोही इच्छाले जनगुनासो नबुझेर आफ्नो तरिकाले चलेको जस्तो अनुभव मैले प्राप्त गरेको छु।
सरकार एकदमै राम्रो तीव्र गतिमा चालिरहेको छ, विकासको तीव्र गतिमा भइरहेको छ।
हुन्छ भन्ने जुन जनताहरूले विश्वास गरेको थियो त्यो पूर्ण रूपमा भइसकेको छैन। तर यो के भने अब भर्खर सुरुवातै भएको हुनाले अब गर्दै गर्दै जाँदाखेरि सबै एकचोटि त हुँदैन।
जनताले जति चाहना राखेका थिए नयाँ जनप्रतिनिधिहरू आएपछि यो हुन्छ ऊ हुन्छ भन्ने त्यसको 10% पनि भएको छैन।
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, why has the attraction of youth towards foreign employment increased? And options are A, lack of proper employment back home, B, lucrative jobs abroad. The voting is on. Type NAWS, select your option A or B and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now the sports update.
Sports news.
3 years after conquering European soccer for the first time, Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo are celebrating another international title. Portugal won the inaugural UEFA Nations League tournament last night, beating the Netherlands 1-0 to lift its first trophy since the 2016 European Championship. Gonçalo Guedes scored the only goal of the game as host nation Portugal recorded victory in front of their home fans. After only featuring as a substitute in the semi-final victory, Guedes returned to the starting lineup in place of João Felix and provided the decisive moment in the second half. The 22-year-old received the ball on the edge of the penalty area following a brilliant cutback from Bernardo Silva before unleashing a ferocious first-time effort past Jasper Cillessen in the Dutch goal. The keeper managed to get a hand to ball but wasn't able to stop it from hitting the back of the net. It's time now for our special segment of the beat.
What a magnificent...
The Province 3 government, in its policies and programs, has announced of doing away with the age-old practice of child marriage. However, in the Province 3 capital, Makwanpur district's remote Raksirang rural municipality, the practice has continued unabated. 14-year-old Shantimaya Chepang of the village was married off last year while she was attending grade 6 classes, preventing her from pursuing further studies. Likewise, 12-year-old Gangamaya Chepang delivered her child last year as the incident drew national attention, prompting the Prime Minister's office to take care of the young mother and her newborn. Despite the province government's plans to curb such ill practices, no programs as such have reached the rural Raksirang municipality. The number of travelers visiting Kailash Mansarovar has increased in recent time. In about 2 months' time since the season started this year, around 2,000 pilgrims have made their way into Kailash Mansarovar region in Tibet through Rasuagadi transit. Most of the visitors travelling through Rasuagadi route are Indian pilgrims. According to trekking agencies operating in the field, it is easier and reasonable to travel through Rasua route in comparison to Humla's Hilsa transit. Pilgrims also used to travel through Sindhupalchok's Tatapani transit, which has remained closed after the 2015 April earthquake until recent. Mansarovar in Tibet lies at a distance of 650 kilometers from Rasuagadi transit.
And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a good day.